Welcome to the Ad Expert Podcast. So what if I told you the absolute fastest way to multiply your local sales is to actively turn away like 90% of the people looking at your business?
I mean, it sounds completely crazy, right?
Right. It goes against everything we assume. Usually when we tackle a business problem like local advertising, the instinct is to grab the biggest megaphone possible. We want maximum visibility.
Yeah, just get as many eyeballs on it as you can.
Exactly. But today, we have a deep dive tailored specifically for you, focusing on a massive pain point for business owners. We're looking at how to improve local PPC campaigns with better targeting.
And we are unpacking the exact mechanics that separate highly profitable local campaigns from the ones that, silently drain your budget. Our source material today dives into a methodology utilized by Ad Expert,
Which is an online marketing and web development agency.
Yes, and we're specifically exploring the strategies developed by their founder, Sam Ashrafi, alongside their official About Us documentation.
The numbers they have pulled from their own case studies are just wild. Like, we are talking about precision targeting tactics that can actually cut your cost per click in half.
Right, while simultaneously doubling your conversion rates.
Which is, turning away traffic to have your costs and double your revenue sounds completely counterintuitive.
It really sounds like a paradox on the surface. But when you look at the raw data and the algorithms running behind the scenes on platforms like Google, it is just pure mechanics.
Pure mechanics.
Yeah, it is the result of a highly disciplined, data-driven methodology that focuses entirely on intent rather than just volume.
So to understand how they manipulate these algorithms, we kind of have to look at the environment they operate in, right? Ad Expert has been running these campaigns for over a decade, based right in Los Angeles.
Right, but they aren't treating Los Angeles like one giant uniform monolith.
No, far from it.
They are operating in the trenches of the San Fernando Valley. So we are talking about places like Woodland Hills, Calabasas, Winnetka, Tarzana.
Encino, Sherman Oaks. Sherman Oaks, West Hills.
Exactly. And Reseda, Burbank, Van Nuys, basically all those surrounding areas. These are hyper-dense, incredibly competitive micro-markets.
Yeah, if you just throw a massive budget at generic Los Angeles keywords in those areas, these micro-markets will drain your entire ad spend in like a matter of minutes.
Oh, absolutely. Gone in a flash.
That geographical constraint is fascinating to me. It requires a very specific skill set. You have Sam Ashrafi handling the overarching marketing strategy, bringing over 10 years of both local and e-commerce experience.
Right, and he's partnered with Ehsan Nabavadi, who handles the granular SEO and, the professional analytics side.
Yeah, and together they offer Google Ads management, local and website SEO, and web development for WordPress and Shopify platforms.
And the thread tying all those distinct services together is a really heavy reliance on live tracking, continuous A/B testing, and AI-powered analytics.
They don't just launch a campaign and cross their fingers, right?
Yeah. No, definitely not. They aren't just checking on it a month later. They are continuously optimizing in real time based on live performance data.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because traditionally, pay-per-click campaigns feel more like setting up a giant, expensive billboard.
Yeah, billboard in the middle of a desert?
Right. Sure, it exists, but are the right people even driving by?
Yeah.
But the way they approach it, it's less like a billboard and more like a highly calibrated GPS system paired with like a homing beacon.
Oh, that GPS analogy hits the nail on the head.
Because you aren't just broadcasting a signal to everyone driving by. You are waiting to intercept the exact person who is already navigating toward your specific service.
Exactly. You are tracking intent. This methodology takes a client's past campaign data, pairs it with deep competitor analysis, and uses AI to identify patterns.
So it learns what a buyer looks like.
Yes, exactly. The system learns what a buyer looks like right before they make a purchase, and it only triggers that homing beacon when it detects those exact conditions in your specific neighborhood.
Which brings us to the front lines of targeting. Like, how do you set up that GPS to capture a hyper-local audience in, say, Woodland Hills, without accidentally paying for clicks from someone 30 miles away in downtown LA?
Well, it all starts with filtering out the noise, and the first step is the actual ad copy.
Right. The sources highlight a massive difference in performance between an ad offering, professional plumbing services versus one explicitly stating 24-hour plumber in Woodland Hills.
The data shows that localized copy boosts click-through rates by 10 to 20%.
Wow, just by naming the town.
Yeah, because when a searcher sees their specific neighborhood called out, they instantly know you can actually reach them. But The psychological impact on the human reading it is really only half the story.
Because of the algorithm.
Right. The algorithmic impact is where the real cost savings happen, specifically regarding your Google quality score.
Wait, let me stop you there. So Google is actually giving you a discount just for being relevant. If I'm a business willing to pay for a click, why would the algorithm charge me less for a localized ad when it could just, squeeze me for more money?
It's a great question. It's because Google's core product isn't actually advertising, it's user trust.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, if users click ads and constantly feel misled or find irrelevant services, they stop trusting Google's search results and they just move to another platform. So Google's algorithm essentially rewards relevance to protect that trust.
Okay, so how do they calculate that?
They use a formula called ad rank, which multiplies your bid amount by your quality score. When your ad copy precisely matches the user's hyperlocal search intent, Google boosts your quality score to a perfect 10.
Meaning you pay less.
Exactly. This means you can literally outbid a massive national corporation who is offering twice as much money simply because their generic ad has a terrible quality score.
That is an incredible mechanic. You are literally using relevance as a currency to beat out bigger budgets.
You really are. But targeting isn't just about the words you include to gain that relevance. It is heavily focused on the words you actively exclude.
Ah, right. Let's talk about negative keywords.
Yeah, this is your first line of defense. If your service area is strictly Woodland Hills, you actively tell the platform to block your ad from anyone typing in geographic terms like minus Los Angeles or minus Santa Monica.
And they also mention modifier terms, right?
Yeah.
Like minus cheap, minus free, or minus DIY.
Yes, to filter out the price shoppers.
But I have to push back on this logic for a second. Because if I'm a local business owner, shouldn't I naturally want more visibility?
I'd think so, yeah.
Right. More eyes on my brand means more brand awareness in my community. Why am I trying so hard to filter people out with negative keywords? Even if they're just looking for a free DIY plumbing guide today, maybe they'll remember my logo and hire me next year.
And that is the exact trap that destroys local ad budgets.
Really?
Yeah, you have to remember the fundamental rule of pay-per-click. Clicks literally cost money. Visibility is a vanity metric in this space. If someone wants a DIY guide, they click your ad out of curiosity, cost you $5, and immediately leave when they see you're a paid service.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So negative keywords act as a bouncer for your budget. They stand at the digital door and only let the serious immediate buyers in.
And paying for those curiosity clicks is actively damaging the campaign's reputation with the algorithm, right? Because they bounce immediately.
Exactly. When people click and leave in 3 seconds, Google sees that mismatch, lowers your quality score, and starts charging you more for future clicks.
That makes so much sense.
This is also why Ad Expert strictly differentiates between in-market audiences and affinity audiences.
Right. The sources define in-market as meaning the platform's behavioral data shows this person is actively shopping and comparing prices right now.
Yes. And affinity means they just have a long-term interest in the topic.
So Google's algorithm is tracking their browsing behavior across the web to know if they're actively in the market for a plumber today versus just, liking home improvement content in general.
Yeah, exactly. So you combine your tight geographical radius with that in-market audience, creating a double filter. You are targeting someone who is not only in your zip code, but is actively demonstrating buying behavior today.
And understanding that buying behavior requires mapping out the actual buyer journey. The methodology uses something called the 3-3-3 rule.
Right, the 3-3-3 rule. It dictates that a cold prospect almost never buys on the first click. The first ad interaction builds basic brand awareness.
Then the second increases trust, right?
Yep. The second interaction increases trust and familiarity. And it is usually by the third targeted exposure that the prospect actually feels comfortable enough to pick up the phone or submit a form.
So single ad campaigns often fail because they expect immediate conversions from a cold lead.
Exactly.
Which means getting that highly qualified geo-targeted person to click your ad is really just the opening move. We need to talk about what happens after the click and how we actually close the deal.
Closing the deal requires stripping away every possible point of friction. And that trust building actually starts on the Google search page itself before they even reach your website.
Using ad extensions.
Yes, using ad extensions.
The sources mention location extensions specifically. This is where your physical address, your phone number, and your exact distance from the user are injected right into the bottom of the ad.
And doing this bumps up click-through rates by another 10 to 20%.
Just for showing the distance.
Yeah. They also use call extensions, promotion extensions, and structured snippets.
Can you do and explain it like I'm 5 on what a structured snippet actually looks like to a user?
Sure. A structured snippet is essentially a mini catalog built into the text of the ad. Instead of just saying we fix things, it allows you to list specific amenities or services.
Like a bulleted list almost.
Yeah, so it might say services, water heater repair, drain cleaning, pipe replacement. It gives the searcher immediate scannable proof that you handled their exact problem.
Oh, that's incredibly useful.
And best of all, Google gives you this extra visual real estate for free if your quality score is high enough. It physically makes your ad larger on a mobile screen and pushes your competitors further down the page.
But then they actually click the ad. And this is where the strategy lives or dies, right? The landing page.
Oh, absolutely. The sources stress the absolute necessity of matching the landing page to the exact location and intent of the ad.
So if I click an ad for an emergency electrician in Tarzana, I need to land on a page that screams Tarzana.
You need to see a local address, local operating hours, reviews specifically from other people in Tarzana, and maybe like an embedded map of the neighborhood.
Right. If you click that hyper-specific ad and get dumped onto a generic, corporate-looking homepage that just says serving the greater Los Angeles area, the illusion of proximity is just shattered. So what does this all mean? Think of it like this. Imagine you're walking around your neighborhood. You find a great little mom-and-pop coffee shop on Yelp. You dial their local area code, but the phone rings, and you suddenly get transferred to a massive robotic overseas call center.
I mean, you would hang up immediately. It's completely jarring.
It destroys the trust instantly. Mismatched landing pages do the exact same thing digitally, and the data from these local campaigns proves it. Creating location-specific landing pages boosts actual conversions by 30 to 50%.
That is a staggering jump in revenue simply for validating the customer's location.
It really is.
And you can push those conversion numbers even higher by focusing on optimization on that specific page, specifically ruthless form simplification.
Right. They mentioned that just removing unnecessary form fields boosts conversions by an additional 20 to 30%. Like, stop asking for their last name, their company size, their email address, and their blood type if you just need to call them back.
Exactly. Friction is the ultimate enemy of conversion. Every extra box they have to type in on their phone screen is another reason to abandon the page.
Yeah, especially on a phone.
If they are a true in-market searcher with an urgent problem, just get their first name and their phone number and let your team do the rest.
Okay, so we have perfectly filtered ad copy, robust negative keywords, and frictionless hyperlocal landing pages. But none of this works if the ad is served on the wrong device or the budget runs out by noon.
Right. This brings us to the engine room managing the back-end technology.
And the most critical shift in that back-end landscape is mobile dominance, isn't it?
It is. Over 70% of local searches are now happening on mobile phones.
70%. That is a massive majority of the market.
Yeah, and a mobile user has a fundamentally different psychological state than a desktop user.
How so?
Well, a mobile searcher usually has immediate urgent intent. If they're looking for a local plumber on their iPhone, they aren't casually researching bathroom remodel ideas for next year.
Right, they probably have a pipe leaking all over their floor.
Exactly, and they need someone at their house in 2 hours.
Here's where it gets really interesting. If mobile makes up 70% of the traffic, and those users convert so much faster because of that emergency mindset, why even bother spending a dime on desktop ads?
Like, why not just go all in on mobile?
Yeah. Why not just shift 100% of the budget to mobile devices and capture all those urgent buyers?
It is a tempting thought, but it ignores the 3-3-3 rule we discussed earlier. The desktop still plays a vital role at the top of the funnel.
Oh, say.
It's where the deep research and comparison shopping happens. A customer might spend Monday afternoon at their office computer researching HVAC companies, reading reviews, and building that initial awareness and trust.
Ah, so you need to be there for the research phase on desktop so that you are the familiar brand they actually call when the emergency happens on the weekend on their phone.
Exactly. And the AI can track those cross-device behaviors. This is where ad experts' use of real-time tracking really shines.
Because it follows them.
Basically, yeah. The automated systems dynamically shift the bidding focus between devices as it tracks a user moving from the desktop research phase into the mobile buying phase.
That dynamic shifting also applies to how they handle the actual campaign budget, right? because the strategy strongly advises against spreading your budget equally across all your service areas.
Right. You shouldn't just spread it evenly.
You are supposed to track performance strictly for 2 weeks and then ruthlessly take 30% of the budget away from the bottom-performing locations and give it to the top performers.
But wait, if I take 30% of my budget away from, say, Winnetka, aren't I just giving up on that whole town?
You aren't giving up, you are reallocating to where the data proves your buyers are.
Okay, that makes sense.
If Calabasas is generating all your high-value phone calls and Winnetka is draining clicks with 0 conversions, maintaining equal budgets means you are literally starving your most profitable market to subsidize a losing one. Wow, yeah. But to make those kinds of ruthless budgeting decisions, you need incredibly clean data, which is why they evolved their bidding strategy over time. You actually start with manual bidding.
Yes, manual bidding.
But why manual? Doesn't Google's multi-billion-dollar algorithm know better than us from day one?
Initially, no, it doesn't know your specific business. Manual bidding keeps strict leashes on the cost per click while the campaign gathers baseline data.
So you're basically training it.
You are essentially training the algorithm, yeah. You are showing it what a legitimate conversion looks like without letting it run wild and experiment with your credit card.
Okay, but you don't stay in manual mode forever. After 2 weeks of feeding it that clean data, you take the training wheels off and switch to Google's automated bidding.
Right, specifically strategies like target CPA, which means target cost per acquisition, or maximize conversions.
Can we break down target CPA? Like, what does that actually look like in practice?
Target CPA basically means you tell Google, I am willing to pay exactly $40 for a qualified phone call and not a penny more.
You set a hard boundary.
You set the boundary. From there, Google's AI looks at millions of real-time data points. The user's exact device, their location history, what time of day it is, what other websites they visited 5 minutes ago.
Oh, wow, that granular.
Extremely granular. And it does the complex math on every single auction to adjust your bid in milliseconds, keeping your average cost under that $40 limit. A human physically couldn't calculate bids fast enough to do that.
But again, you need clean data for the AI to do its math. To get that, they use something called the 3-2-2 method.
Right.
The sources note this was adapted from Facebook ads, but applied to local PPC. It involves testing 3 geographic zones with 2 different ad copies per zone for a minimum of 2 weeks.
That's right, the 3-2-2 method.
How do you even set up 3 geographic zones for a local business without the data bleeding together?
Use strict digital fencing. You don't just drop a radius pin on a map because those always overlap. You use exact zip code targeting to draw hard borders around, say, 3 distinct neighborhoods.
Okay, so zip codes.
Yeah. Then you run 2 distinct ad variations in each fence. This is your A/B testing. It's like a digital taste test. You show version A to half the neighborhood and version B to the other half, and mathematically measure which one generates more calls.
And the final 2 in that method is the 2-week minimum, which requires a lot of psychological discipline.
It really does. It forces you to not panic and turn off an ad after 3 days just because it hasn't generated a lead yet.
Right.
It gives the algorithm enough time to optimize and proves that a winning ad is actually a statistical winner, not just a random fluke.
It is a masterclass in treating local marketing like a hard science rather than just a guessing game.
It really is.
So, synthesizing all of this, what is the ultimate takeaway for someone managing a local campaign right now?
The overarching takeaway is that precision targeting isn't just a buzzword, it is a mechanical process.
A mechanical process.
Yeah, it requires a synchronized system. Perfectly localized ad copy that leverages quality score, aggressive negative keywords to protect the budget, and frictionless landing pages that match the exact intent of the click.
And when you feed that structured data into automated bidding algorithms, you capture high-intent mobile searchers while everyone else is still paying for tumbleweeds.
Exactly. And the proof is in the results. The case studies highlight that AdExpert has successfully utilized these exact hyper-local strategies to help agencies in the LA area reduce their cost per lead by a massive 40%.
40%. In a competitive local market, a 40% reduction in acquisition costs completely changes the financial trajectory of a business.
Oh, absolutely. It frees up cash flow for hiring, expansion, or, better equipment.
For sure. If you are listening to this and realizing your own TPC campaigns might be leaking budget due to poor targeting, generic ad copy, or mismatched landing pages, you really need a mechanic to look under the hood.
Yeah, and AdExpert actually offers a free audit and consultation to pinpoint exactly where your ad spend is being wasted.
You can reach out to their team directly. Their general line is 310-686-5600. 5354.
Or you can call their dedicated PPC consultation hotline at 323-800-8345.
Right. And if you are local to the San Fernando Valley, their headquarters is right there in the trenches at 6300 Varial Avenue in Woodland Hills, California.
The AI tools, the extensions, and the algorithms, I mean, they are all readily available to everyone. The true competitive advantage is simply having the discipline and expertise to configure them correctly.
So true. But I want to leave you with a final forward-looking thought to ponder today. We've talked deeply about how algorithms track our in-market intent, finding us right when we search for a solution.
Right.
But with AI and predictive analytics getting so incredibly accurate at understanding our unseen behavior patterns across our devices, will we soon reach a point where local ads appear on our phones before we even realize the pipe in our kitchen is about to burst? Something to think about. So until next time.